To be honest, man, I'm pretty scared.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable situation.
Thank you so much for tuning into this week's vlog. For those that are new to the channel, my name is Jason. Me and my wife, our baby Judah, we have a channel together and we're just passionate about creating and so grateful that you guys tuned in. I don't know if bro code is a thing in relevance to what I'm going to be talking about today, but what I'm talking about today is masculinity and how the different types of masculinity has played a role in my life. First and foremost, I am not a psychologist. I am not a doctor. All this is just lived experience that I am sharing with you. This is not an advice vlog. This is just Jason sharing his thoughts vlog. All right, so the three types of masculinity that I felt have played a role in my life is just regular healthy masculinity. Then we got traditional masculinity. And then the third one I think is toxic masculinity. And I think with the things that I've experienced in my life is that these three areas are very interlaced. And it's hard to separate them. To bring context to what I'm talking about, I think it's important that I get vulnerable and I share some experiences with you that can drive this point home. It's story time with Jason. So when I was in middle school, I went to North Pole Middle School. We had this swimming class. During free time at swim class, we have the high dive and the low dive. You gotta understand, I grew up in the 90s, so you had a lot of things like no fear and all these things that were the mantras of the 90s. Yep, Super Dave. We're gonna be invincible because we're young men doing what we need to do. So young Jason decided to climb up the high dive, and I'm climbing up and I'm getting up there, and then I realize, oh crap, this is super high, and I got scared. There's no way that I am jumping off this high dive into that pool that is way down there. There's no way. Basically got down on my knee. I got down on my hands and knees, and I slowly started scooting myself back to the ladder, and I went down the ladder, hanging my head low and getting ridiculed by all my friends for that experience. And that really scarred me. I was impacted by that situation and how crappy I felt after that. That was horrible. That was a horrible experience. So that I felt was me trying to fill a role of traditional masculinity where you feel like your emotions are internal, you don't express your emotions. Men don't cry and we don't wear our emotions on our sleeve, especially when you're a young boy. Look, I got scared. I didn't share that. I didn't express it. I just hung my head and just took being teased.
Going up the backside of Flat Top, then up to peak 2, peak 3, maybe peak 4. Just all depends on how we feel. We're just going out. We're just glad to be out.
Expectations.
No expectations.
Pair of thermals from Osmo. It's got a nice size hole in the butt. Fell on a rock earlier this year.
Craziest thing. Me and James got the drone up, flying it around, and for whatever reason, it decided to crash into the snow. And then out of the blue, it just came back up. That's super weird. Which way are we going?
Let's go up to Flat Top and then assess.
All right.
Going on the hot path.
made it to the top of Flat Top.
That's up.
So fast forward a little bit, now I'm, a rebellious teenager, and we decided to go to Granite Tours, this little rock area, and it has a little rock face wall. So a bunch of us decided to climb up this rock face. My one friend decided not to, which God bless him. His name was Waji, and he was a black dude. Nope, black people don't go swim in the ocean, and we don't go rock climbing, and we don't do that kind of stuff. You all have fun with your crazy white selves, and I'm gonna let you do your thing. Waji's gonna sit here and enjoy you climbing up this thing. Well, we get quite a ways up. Andy's like, we're in trouble because I can't go up any higher to lead you guys the route that you guys probably need to go because it's starting to shell off. And so he's stuck. My friend Terry is on this little ledge, and he's kind of stuck too. We can't climb our way down. We would have fell. There's just no way we could have climbed down the way that we went up. I'm sitting here on the side of this rock face thinking that I'm going to seriously get injured or die. And it just brought all those emotions back when I was on the high dive hit me. And that, and I'm a teenage kid by this time. Luckily, my boy Waji was able to get the rope, find a route up the top, get up to the top, and lower the rope down. Andy used this thing called a nut where he put it in a crack, and he was able to get the rope in there, rope his way down, and then actually get us all down after that. Being stuck on that wall the way that I was, and for a long period of time, because it took Waji quite a bit of time to get up to the top and lower the rope down to us. But what I'm trying to say is it really scarred me there, and that pops up sometimes in my experiences now as an adult. I started experiencing very toxic masculinity, like risky behavior, bullying, being aggressive, things of that nature are what they consider toxic masculinity. And a lot of times that just, pretty much shows insecurity all the way around.
Peak 2.
Here we come, peak 2.
There's not really any kind of trailage, so
Oh, it's getting lusty.
my axe.
Now, there is healthy masculinity, being a provider, doing things that you feel are supporting your family and your friends, being a biblically sound, that's pretty masculine, and having emotional intelligence. I think that is a healthy form of masculinity. I was talking to my friend Lonnie about this and, discussing with him because I, respect and value. He was a collegiate athlete and just somebody that I admire and I look up to, especially his thought process and perspectives. And and I have to agree and go on the line saying that even teasing and a little bit of hazing and ridicule can be healthy forms of masculinity with people that you trust. That, I think, leads me into the segue of what I want to discuss about what happened to me with my friend James just the other day. We get up to the top of Peak 2 and we're checking out the views. It was beautiful.
All right, so we're on top of Peak 2 right now.
And then he's like, all right, let's head down this ridge line and get on to Peak 3. And we start going, and you got to traverse this ridge line, and the ridge line path of where you can step is very narrow, and it just got even more narrow in my mind as I'm sitting here trying to walk it. It's filled with snow, so you don't know securely where you're stepping because you could step in a place where you think is secure and it's not. It's deep with snow that could just break away. And so all this is running through my mind, and I tell you not, the time that I got hit with being ridiculed for coming down the high dive hit me again. The time that I literally froze up on that granite face rock hit me again. James is like a mountain goat, man. He's just like going over this stuff, feeling totally secure and safe and comfortable in his, element. So yeah, I'm gonna have to address the sun flaring through the window like this, and I was trying to get it filmed before this happened. It didn't really work out, but I'm gonna use it anyway, and sorry if it's distracting, and hopefully that you guys don't ridicule me and haze me. You could tease me, it's okay. It's okay that you tease me about my film work. I'm learning here, people. I'm always a student to this stuff.
I don't know where you're gonna go from there.
Am I being a bad influence right now?
Like, I got legitimately scared, and I felt totally comfortable sharing that with James and saying, look, I'm scared, dude. And he's like, look, am I being a bad influence? I don't want to pressure you. So if you feel like stopping and turning back, then by all means, let's go back. And I felt bad more so that he couldn't complete it because he was more concerned about my well-being. He even tried to make me feel good by saying that his legs were cramping up, but I think he was totally fine. He was just being a good friend, and to me expressing what true masculinity is right there. You're sharing your emotions, you're sharing your fears. I'm going to hear you, I'm going to respect that, and I'm going to take that in consideration, and we're going to turn around. So
Job.
So just to recap, I think it's important to express what those masculinities are. Like, healthy masculinity looks like you're confident but not cocky. You have an emotional intelligence. You're not afraid to express your feelings and to share your emotions. Toxic masculinity, which I've been in this realm before, where you're super aggressive. You're a bully of sorts. You tease, bully. You make fun of people, and then you do risky things. And with traditional masculinity, I feel like you should challenge those things. Like, I think traditionally we as men get into the realm where we're like, we don't need anybody, we can figure this out and do it all. I'm not asking for directions. Like, I invented directions, like, have that thought process. Or men don't share their emotions. Like, we keep those internally, we don't express them. How I see it and how I feel is challenging those traditional masculinity roles, to me, gives me a better perspective, which is important because I have a son that is 4 months old, and I kind of want to, like, it's okay to cry, son. It's like okay to share your feelings. It's okay to say I love you. It's okay to give me a hug and a kiss, and like, that to me is dope. And I just want my son to feel the same way. And yeah, so I don't know if it hit all the key points, but yeah, it looks like the sun went away. That's good. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Give us some feedback. What are your thoughts? Like, have you ever experienced any of those things? Let me get a shout out for all my 90s kids, man. I grew up in the 90s, like the no fear, especially if you lived in Alaska, like, when in doubt, grit it out, like all those things. Like, that's kind of the mantra being a 90s kid. That's what it's all about, man. You fall down, skin your knees, man, get up, rub dirt in it, like, you press on, like,